Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge, coming in to talk about the inner alchemy for May the 20th, leading us forward to the 25th. Now, right in the middle of this energy, we're also going to see the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius on about the 23rd of May. So we have a lot of different elements that are going on during this time. Now, I also want to provide a little bit of insight for what has been coming through for myself in a course that I'm teaching right now called Reclaiming Your Divine Voice. And for those of you that have been following this channel for a little while, you may have noticed that we're in a bit of a pattern, that we are currently under the activations of 7 gates within our throat chakra. And what that is really looking like is we are climbing an ascension ladder. So I want to share what I am getting in the hopes that this also supports you on your own journey. That is what we're here to do in the power of communication, is to share our insight, to share our teachings, to use our voices and our abilities to channel love for the highest good. So I'm going to invite you to come on a bit of a journey with me as we go through the energies that have been transpiring to then bring us into the current moment and to talk about the energy in the inner alchemy right now for May the 20th to the 21st, the 25th, which will be about the gate of the now. So let me take you a step back to the very bottom of the ladder as we started our ascension back on May the 3rd. And we entered what was known as the seat of the driver. This was the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. It was like that rocket booster that is launching us towards getting into orientation with what is for your highest good. So we were really tasked with some shadow energies of feeling dislocated or feeling lost, feeling like we are pulled away from who we truly are. And that was our body's way of saying, hey, you have moved away from your soul's purpose, your soul's guidance. So when we start to feel like we're falling apart, our world is falling apart, we don't know who we are anymore, that is your body's way of saying you're facing in the wrong direction. And what that means is we're facing the external world trying to figure out who we are. So it becomes a call of literally turning around to come back inside you to seek the clarity of what it is that is really calling your attention. So we then move from the seat of the driver into our very first step on the ladder, the first of 7 activations in the throat. This was all about the energy of assimilation. Assimilation is how you take energy in, how you process the energy, and then how you send it back out into the world. So it was really teaching us about the shadow of complexity and how we live in a world that is so fast-paced and we want things right now. So we have forgotten how to slow down, and in forgetting how to slow down, we've made our world harder than it needs to be. Because when you're trying to live in a fast-paced world, your body is always in this state of high cortisol and stress and anxiety, trying to accommodate all the pressures that it's feeling to do more. But you're already depleted and you're already exhausted and you're already feeling this inner call to come inwards. So the gift that they were really having us anchor in on that first step of our ascension process is simplicity, is learning to slow down and really examining your life and looking at what have you accumulated? Where do you need to simplify in terms of decluttering? And that means the mind. That means energetic threads to relationships that are not healthy. That means the material objects that we have brought into our homes that are now occupying space. So it was really an opportunity that as you start your journey of ascension, and it was also linking us into our root chakra. So our mental perception of the world around us, but how it relates to our sense of safety and security and belonging, and what we are really wanting to harness and hold on to move us forward into a higher state of being. So we were looking at how we perceive the world around us and learning to really simplify that process for ourselves. Then we stepped onto the second ring of that ladder. We just came out of the energy of what is known as contribution. Now, this was another throat gate activation, the second of 7, but this time it was tying in to your sacral center. It's drawing forward life force energy. So this is where we are looking at our creative energy, our sexual energy, our ability to really harness the power of the divine feminine to bring forward what it is that we really want to see in the external world. So we look at what are we contributing to? And this takes us then through the shadow of mediocrity, which means it's really examining where we're doing things that we really don't want to do. We're doing things at half effort because they have no value to us. So we were asked to examine the jobs that we have, the relationships we have, how when we are giving from a cup that is empty or depleted, that we are giving somebody a lukewarm presence of who we truly are. So when we start to examine areas of mediocrity in our lives where we are just in the habit of, I just got to get it done. I just got to get through the motions, but I'm not feeling it. Every time you step into that, you're draining your life force energy. It's taking away from your ability to really harness those sacred seeds within yourself and to cultivate an opportunity to bring something new into the world. So that also came with a lot of pressure right at the throat center. We had a line of the masculine in the throat center, which means there was yang energy. Masculine energy is doing. It wants to go and do something. So we walked through that period of time feeling like, I want to jump in and help. I want to volunteer. I don't like sitting on the sidelines. I want to get into the action and I want to make a difference. But we also had an opportunity to introduce a feminine line up at the third eye and feminine lines in the other ones coming up through the chakra systems to really step back, to learn to ask yourself and remind yourself that we came in through orientation. We came in through wanting to simplify. Now we had stepped onto the ladder of really examining what am I contributing to and why. So we also take a look there at imitation and how we have a world of copycats trying to be like the celebrities or do whatever they can to be seen, heard, acknowledged, our ideas of success. So we have been trained since we have been little. So think of marketing, think of the commercials, think of what a child is exposed to and starts to build an idea of, I need that to be a certain something. So it's programmed in us from such a young age to be a consumer. Now, whose agenda is that? What is that serving? So you got to really take a step back and step into the wisdom of that divine feminine who is in a state of being, in a state of flow, in a state of water, and really becoming consciously aware at how we are parenting ourselves, how we are parenting our children, how we are forming communities around us, and what is truly for the highest good. So it is a call for substance. So you're taking that step back, you're pausing as you're going up your ascension ladder, and you're asking yourself, what am I contributing to? Now, the gift in that lesson that we just walked out of was about learning about your unique style. We all have something to contribute to this world. Last week's video talked about your fingerprint, that you are the only one that has your fingerprint. You are the only one in your DNA, your coding that you carry to bring your particular gifts into the world. We all came here with a divine purpose, but we have been taught to compare ourselves to others. And in doing so, we are diminishing our own value. So none of us are more important than the other. We all have a divine responsibility to be the best individual we can be. Or you can look at that as being a healthy cell on the cosmic body. We're all needed in order to reach that state of higher enlightenment where we can all self-actualize the true potential. So it's really leaning into your style, your unique expression. Now we're stepping on that third ring of the ladder. For May the 20th to the 25th, we are stepping into gate number 20 in the teachings of human design. And if you are new to human design, I highly encourage you to go to my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com, enroll in the free Introduction to Human Design course, follow the links to get your chart, and start to learn about yourself. There's also opportunities there if you want a private consultation to help bring you into you, to realign to your gifts, to get to know how you harness the energy. So we're stepping into this third activation in gate number 20, which is the now, and it's all about the present moment. It brings us now through the shadow of mediocrity. Or sorry, that was last week. We're still carrying some of that essence of mediocrity. It is bringing us through the shadow of superficiality. And this is going to tie us into the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius that is also coming up. So we have the energy of the full moon that is coming in the sign of Sagittarius, a fire sign, to help feed us with that sense of adventure and fun. Because as we are on that third step, that third ladder, we're also linking it into your solar plex. This is your will. This is your drive to move forward. So we are facing the shadow of superficiality this week, which means we now have a masculine line at our third eye, a masculine line at our throat center, and feminine lines in the 4 chakras underneath. So now you have a tendency to want to overthink and overdo, but everything under that is coming up to the heart. It is encouraging a pause. So you're going to notice a restlessness in your body. You're going to notice the desire to want to play and have adventure. And those are beautiful, beautiful attributes if it brings you into a state of peaceful, relaxing contemplation for yourself. In other words, it is designed to help get us out of our mind and out of our tendency to do, and really come back into higher states of joy, of lightness, of calm, of serenity, so that when we are looking at the shadow of mediocrity, it is bringing us into a present awareness of what we are doing and of our world around us. So it is helping to bring us through the dilemma of self-realization. Because what happens is we kind of exist in a zombie mode. We're going through the motions of just showing up in our world, caught in the rat race of being so busy. I just got to get through my to-do list. I just got to get this done, that we are oblivious to our effects on other people. And we are oblivious to what is happening in the world around us. And that's what it means to be in the shadow of superficiality. I was in a restaurant the other day, and I looked around the restaurant to see about 80% of the individuals in that space buried in their cell phone. They might have been sitting at a table with other people, but they were not present. And we're seeing that more and more. We're seeing parents lost on their phone and children tugging at their leg, trying to get their parents' presence, but the parent is checked out and in a state of stress and anxiety and worried, because the world has taught us to be on call and to be available for every reaction. So the body has been in this state, this really high intensity of masculine energy for quite a long time, to the point where it is out of balance. And that is why we have come into this time of the divine feminine, the way of water, of flow, of coming back into a state of being. You don't need to do anything because you already are. So it's calling us back into our body, back into being present with ourselves, to be consciously aware and more mindful of what is going on around us. So we learn to become the observer of ourselves, of how we're spending our time, of what we're doing during the course of our day. And we're starting to self-actualize how available we are to ourselves and to the world around us. So this is now teaching us the powerful gift of your presence. And when you tune into the gift of your presence, just showing up in the right place and in the right time, because something inside you is guiding you to be there and to be of service to that and to express that in your unique way. Then you are starting to realize how important your presence is, how the quality of your presence matters, and how the absence of your presence is felt. Now, this is also bringing us into Gemini, the astrological planet of Gemini, which is in the air sign. So we're now in the duality. Gemini is the twins. And we are feeling that energy, the air sign that is bringing us into the third house, which is all about communication. And it's teaching us our ability to express our individual communicative ability into the world in order to be assimilated by others. So our expression. Gemini offers us the ability to look at both sides. So you can also see this energy and this full moon in the sign of Sagittarius as being able to rise up in the vibration of playfulness and fun and adventure, and bringing in the element of fire for Sagittarius in this to help drive the spirit up. So you can see that as we have two sides, we have two eyes. we can look at it this way, we can look at it that way, and we can come up into a third eye awareness, which is the power of 3. This is also about your mind, body, spirit balance. So when you're stepping into the gift of presence, you are noticing the energy of calm that flows into your body. You are noticing the calm mind because you are observing and you're present in what is happening around you. You're not caught in your to-do list. You're not caught in your emotions. You're not caught in what it is you think you need to say or do. You're not lost in a different reality, thinking and contemplating on something else. You're dealing with the present moment because that is all that exists. So this is also teaching us how to harness our energy for the highest good, moving out of a state of reactive into responsive. And it is a very gentle, loving, self-aware, self-confident way of moving through the world because you see so clearly what requires your presence and why your presence is going there. So we learn to stop feeding the shadow. We stop distracting ourselves with superficiality. And we learn that our external world is a reflection of our inner. And in doing so, we calm our minds. We start working on calming the body, which brings us back to the last 2 weeks of going through the energy of learning to simplify, learning to declutter, learning to stay in orientation to your true path. So all of these energies are teaching us, as we're climbing this ladder of ascension right now, to carry all of those gifts with you as you are climbing. And if you find yourself sliding back down, falling back down into the shadow patterns, it is in becoming aware of your behavioral pattern, of that trigger, of that comfort zone that you have hit, and now it wants to pull you back into what is familiar, and using it to empower yourself to go, I caught it. I recognize that I'm in that shadow tendency. When you recognize something, now you have empowered yourself to switch. So you remind yourself, this is what the shadow feels like. This is how the shadow creeps in. Now I'm going to open up the doors and windows to my aura, to my being, to my awareness. And I'm going to call up the gift aspect to clean house. So it's important to harness the element of fun and adventure and lightness and curiosity because we're growing and learning in this energy. The shadow wants you to stay small. The shadow wants you to stay emotionally reactive, busy, distractive, with no time to sit with you and have the honest conversation of, what am I contributing? What state of being am I in? And is this in direction to where I want to go? And the direction that I want to go is another state of being. It's not what we think we have to become, because the divine feminine already is. You already are all that is needed to be successful. It is coming into this self self-awareness, the self-actualization, to unlock that within your DNA so that you can show up in the full extent of your presence for humanity. That is the gift that each and every one of us carry in the seed of ourself. So have fun in this energy. Start looking at the patterns. Really lean into the shadow of superficiality. How many people around me or environments that I see are just in a zombie mode? And then use that as a reflection to look back into your own life to question, how am I keeping myself so busy that I am distracting myself from really looking at what needs to be looked at? So this is also about having some really honest conversations with yourself. Have fun this week. I'm curious to know how this is playing out for you. I would love to read your comments if you want to share. And if you want help moving through your chart, take a look at the website, lovingenergyrecharge.com. We have many opportunities to combine human design, the gene keys, Lightworker coaching. We are a channel. We're here to help you remember your divinity. And I would be honored to sit and walk you through your birth chart to help you navigate that course for yourself. Namaste to you all.